Alright, so this is going to be another, what, movie review? This one's called The Burden of Dreams, 1982. It's going to be a National Endowment for the Arts sponsored movie. It's a documentary about Werner Herzog's Fitzcarraldo, which is a great movie, by the way. I hate this documentary, though. I thought My Best Fiend, Klaus Kinski, was a lot better than this one. You don't see much of Klaus Kinski or Claudia Cardinale in this one, which is unfortunate. Basically, the filmmaker, whoever directed this, decided to focus in on the director and the local natives there in Peru, which is unfortunate. I care less if Werner Herzog hates big oil, or he wants to buy the natives some land rights, or he's an agnostic, or, well, you get the idea. Or he's against prostitution. I can go on and on, but 90% of the film is him, and I guess the other 10% is the natives. How he's trying to protect them or whatever. What he's protecting is unclear, though, because in the movie the natives are shooting each other with arrows, cheating on their having affairs with other women, getting drunk and stuff. So, and prostituting themselves. Why Herzog hates prostitution, I'm not sure. I'm guessing that he's like most people. He thinks that human sex is good, but somehow it's dirty if you pay for it. Even the Catholic priest goes over there and lectures Herzog to get more prostitutes in order to avoid a full-blown mutiny. He has this ingenious plan to split up the two camps into white people and natives. So the other camp is very tiny, of course. Doesn't have enough supplies of prostitutes, I guess. So it's ironic that the Catholic priest has to step in there, tell him to get more, much to the objection of the puritanical Werner Herzog. He talks a lot about exploiting the natives, and this kind of sounds like a Marxist environmentalist type argument. So he spends about 4 years in the Amazon jungle, Peru and Ecuador, trying to make this film, trying to coax the movie producers into spending all this money. He pays the natives twice what they normally make, but the white crew from Europe and the United States, they get paid a lot more, of course. So it's ironic that he's talking about exploitation, and many of the things that he accuses big oil of doing is what he's doing himself, basically flattening out the forest to make the ship go up the mountain, of course, like what happened in the film, which is an engineering feat, I have to admit. But I could really care less about whether he's an agnostic or he's an environmentalist or whatever. That part doesn't interest me. Would have been much more interesting if they had focused on the two main characters, Fitzcarraldo and his lover. You only get to see a few very short, amusing scenes with Klaus Kinski out there in the jungle, um, which is unfortunate. That's the reason why I gave this one out of 5 stars. I'm all too familiar with the news in Peru. They were complaining about the company that I used to own, the gold mining company, that chemicals were being used against and to extract the gold. So, so I'm familiar with the political risk that went on whenever you do business in Peru, basically. And he was dealing with the elements, the forces of nature. Herzog contradicts himself quite a bit, where he wants to preserve the native culture, but he's against prostitution. That's one example. Another example is the whole exploitive aspect of turning the jungle into Disneyland, which is essentially what Fitzcarraldo was trying to do. Not Disneyland, but he's trying to make the opera go to the Amazon or something crazy. I guess Herzog feels that film and the opera are much higher forms of art compared to Gunsmoke or Rawhide or Mickey Mouse. I can understand the Mickey Mouse argument. That part makes sense to me, but I guess during the 80s, Herzog really hated the United States culture, like most Europeans. Like I said, I don't really care about his political or cultural things. It's almost like he's romanticizing the native way of life. And if he wants to put his money where his mouth is and buy them title to the land, that's really none of my business. I could really care less. So there's that. Eventually, they did get title to the land, which is probably why they're complaining about gold mining in the mountain, Andes Mountains. Anyways, so yeah, he talks about how the United States has no culture at all, which is kind of funny. It's kind of this I'm over your head, I'm a European kind of attitude. Yeah, he also contradicts himself when he says the jungle is kind of a nightmarish, violent kind of murderous place. The birds shriek instead of singing. I think by the end of the movie, he's just sick and tired of being there, like Klaus Kinski. But then he says he loves the place, which doesn't make sense. How can he say all these bad things about the jungle and say, oh, by the way, I love this place? Maybe he really is crazy like he says in the movie. Because he keeps contradicting himself all the time. That's why I hated this movie. I gave it 1 out of 5 stars. Avoid at all costs later.